Hello, welcome to my online training. Today, I'll be taking you on SAP Introduction. Okay, self-introduction. I have over 8 years experience in SAP implementations and functional support in Nigeria. Professional in finance module. My certifications include SAP S/4HANA Financial Accounting, Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, Certified Information System Auditor, AWS Associate, and others. Okay. So in this class, the content of the class will include the history of SAP, characteristics of SAP as ERP, SAP organizational structure, and SAP navigation. So what is SAP? The word SAP you've been hearing always. It's good to have an understanding of what it stands for. SAP stands for System Applications and Products in Data Processing. SAP, by definition, is also the name of the ERP software as well as the name of the company. The headquarters of SAP is in Germany. SAP software is a European international founded in 1972 by a group of friends. They developed software solutions for managing business operations and customer relationships. Among the 5 founders, only a supplanter is still involved in the company. He serves as the chairman of the supervisory board. Christian Klein is the present CEO and member of the executive board of SAP. So, SAP as an ERP. What is an ERP? ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. An ERP is a computer system that covers an entire company, used to manage all its resources and share the necessary information between different departments in a single database. ERP provides synchronized information transfer between different functional areas, such as sales, marketing, finance, manufacturing, human resource, logistics, etc. ERP actually interconnects different business areas, different departmental business areas, and reports in real time. The SAP system consists of several fully integrated modules that cover virtually every aspect of business management. Now, SAP is the #1 ERP in the market. As of 2019, over 25 industry-specific business solutions and more than 425,000 customers in 180 countries. SAP have 1,000 employees worldwide. 99 of the 100 largest companies in the world are SAP customers. They make use of SAP because SAP meets their functionalities and has the features that goes with their business process. Other competitive products of SAP software in the market as of today are Oracle, Microsoft Dynamics, and other upcoming ones, etc., etc. Evolution of SAP. So, SAP, in the early evolution of SAP. So the first version of SAP was SAP R1, which is the early years. This is actually the dream of real-time computing comes true. At this point, they were able to develop a software that processes data when customers need it. Okay, so after then we have the next version in 1982, SAP R2, and it keeps going to SAP R3, SAP ERP, which is more of the e-business era. more of the e-business era. This is when the more of the real-time processing really was ongoing. Okay. So now in 2011, we have the digital economy era. This is the digital economy era, which is actually the HANA era, which has to do with cloud computing, mobile devices, in-memory technology, open up new possibilities for real-time data access anytime, anywhere. At this point, data was able to access at any point, anytime, and anywhere. Then it now emerged to the higher version, which is SAP S4 HANA in 2015. This is when the SAP Fiori users begins to experience making use of the mobile devices, and also having the option to deploy as and hybrid premises and cloud technologies. And I also emerged to the latest Rise with SAP. Rise with SAP is actually the cloud technology, which gives room for easy migration from SAP ERP ECC6 to HANA technology. So presently, if you are running on SAP ERP ECC6, it's very easy to migrate to SAP Rise with SAP. Okay. So let's look at the SAP landscape. SAP landscape here, we have three systems: development system, quality assurance system, and production system. Each of the system has different functionalities. Okay. Now, in the development client, which is the development system, you can carry out configuration testing, ABAP development, and unit testing. This is where the ABAPers and the consultants carry out their job in the development system before carrying out a transport service to the quality assurance. And from the quality assurance, it's been moved to the production system. Now, in the quality assurance, this is where the integration testing is being carried out, cross-module implication analysis is being carried out. After this, when the whole testing is fine and confirmed, it is then moved to the production system. The production system is the live system where the day-to-day activities is being carried out. The day-to-day activities is being carried out in the production system. All right. Now, in the development system, there are different clients. The client has different database, which different separate information are being stored. Now, in the development system, there are two clients: the 100, which is known as the golden client, and the 1110, which is known as the test client. Each of these clients has its own functionalities. The golden client is meant for configuration, while the test client is meant for testing by consultants. Now, in the quality system, there are also two clients: the 200 client and the 210. We have the test client, which is the 200 client, and the 210 used by user testing. The production system has one client where we book business transaction of the day-to-day activities. SAP modules. So there are different modules that exist in SAP. We have the procurement module, manufacturing module, business intelligence, inventory reporting, CRM, human resource, the financial, sales and order management, and the procurement modules. All these modules actually integrate with each other in real time, and they meet all business department business processes. So here are the basic modules in SAP: the financial, the supply chain, the MM, the sales and distribution, the logistics, the quality management, project system, human resource. Characteristics of SAP. SAP supplies accurate and real-time information. This implies that if a user in the human resource using the human resource modules key in information, a user in the finance module can see that information in real time. He doesn't have to wait for a long period or till the next day before the information is being accessible. It's being accessible in real time. Now, also, it's easy to trace all your documents. You can trace your document from start to finish. You can also drill down your reports and check your document from start to finish. SAP has a well-improved data security. Ability to consolidate information for subsidiaries in different countries and multiple currencies valuation. You can make use of different currencies in different countries with SAP. Single data source and sharing of data among all the units of an organization. In the same database, it avails the information related to human resource, finance, logistics, management, control, etc. SAP industries. SAP products are intended for different industries. So different industries with different line of business make use of SAP. Now, the industries include manufacturing, oil and gas, health, real estate, financial services, banking, retails, insurance, etc. Okay, so let's look at the first module in SAP. SAP Finance, which is also known as SAP FI, is a module used for reporting both externally and internally. The objective is to record all financial transactions that are posted by an entity and produced financial statements, which are accurate at the end of the trading period. SAP FI is the core modules in SAP. It's the mother module in SAP. These modules integrate with other modules like material management, sales, project system, and human resource. The submodules in FI module include the general ledger, the accounts payable, the account receivable, bank accounting, asset accounting, and asset accounting. All these modules interlink and integrate in real time with each other. SAP organizational units. So the SAP organizational unit structure, this includes the company, the business area, the company code, the functional area. So I'll be discussing each of them to give you knowledge so that when you hear about them, you can easily understand how it works. Let's discuss about the clients. The client is the highest level in SAP organizational structure hierarchy. Every client has its own set of master record and tables. Every client has its own set of data in the database. If changes are made to the data in one client, then the data in the other client is not affected. I mentioned earlier that we have different clients in each of the servers, the production server, the quality assurance server, the development server. So each of the clients that exists, we have like 2 clients in the development server. The changes that occurs in client 210 and 20 and 200 cannot affect each other. Each others are not affected because every client has its own set of data in the database. Yes. A company is an optional organizational element which can be used to combine together the financial statement of multiple companies into one statement. Yeah. In SAP FI, a company can comprise of multiple codes. However, it acts as a single unit for which financial statements are available. All company codes must use the same chart of accounts. However, each company codes can have a different local currency. Company codes. So you'll be hearing a lot about company codes and all. Yeah, so what is company codes? Company code here is the smallest organizational unit of external accounting for which a complete self-contained set of accounts can be created. This includes the entry of all transactions that must be posted and creation of all items for legal individual financial statements, such as balance sheet and individual profit and loss statement. Okay. Fiscal year variance. A fiscal year variance normally consists of 12-month time period where a company creates a financial statement. A fiscal year variance defines the number of posting period and the number of special period. Let's take, for instance, for example, the company may have 12 normal posting period from January to December and 4 special posting period. Now, each of this period 1 will represent January, period 2 represents February, until it gets to 12, which is December, and 4 special posting period. So every period, so the fiscal year corresponds to the exact calendar year. Having different posting period allows the transaction for different time period to be separated from each other. Okay. So you see how this works. You see how when you are doing your posting, you need to close the posting period. You close the posting period. You need to open posting period for posting. For instance, you want to post into the month of April, you have to open period 4, which is for April. So this having different posting period allows the transaction for different time period to be separated from each other. Field status variant. Every screen of SAP offers various fields. Now, every field can have a status set to optional, required, and suppressed. This is controlled by the field status variant. A collection of field status group is called a field status variant. Field status variant is defined at the client level. There are some situations you want to have the status of your field to be optional, to be required, and to be suppressed or displayed. This is actually done at the level of field status variant. Chart of accounts, as you're already familiar with these accounting terms, chart of account is a list of GL accounts that may be used by one or more company codes. Now, what is business area? Business area are used to differentiate transaction that comes from different lines of business in a company. Now, if you have different lines of business, for instance, maybe you have different source of fund, you can decide to differentiate this transaction in this business area. Functional area in finance accounting are used to define the expenses in a company account, in a company according to individual function units. SAP FI. So take note of this. All organizational elements are placed under the client. Client is the major. By definition, client is the highest level in the organizational hierarchy. Company is an optional element which can be created under the client and can be used to club together multiple company codes. The company code is the central element in the organizational structure and is created either under a company or under a client hierarchy. A company code is assigned to a chart of account. A chart of account contains the list of all the accounts which can be used while entering transaction for the company code. The company code is assigned to fiscal year variance. The fiscal year variance defined can be used while entering the transaction to the company code. The company code is assigned to the field status variant. The field status variant decides which field will be required, optional, suppressed, or in display mode while entering any transaction for the company code. SAP data. SAP are stored in SAP database in real time. SAP has two types of data. Now we look at the transactional data and the master data. The transactional data are day-to-day business data. Example, the document number is example of transactional data. The master data do not change in time. Master data are used by different modules. Example, the vendor information and staff information, customer information. These are all master data. It is used over and over again, so it hardly changes over time. While your day-to-day data you produce in the system are called the transactional data. So, SAP navigation. So, if it's your double click when you see this is the server, SAP server. Okay, when you double click on the server, it will take you to the screen to impute your user ID, and your password. Now, if you are if you are a new user in the system, it will prompt you to change your password immediately. But if you are an existing user logged in before, it will take you to the menu screen. Okay. This is how the login screen looks like. You click on the server here, it takes you to this screen. Okay, let me demonstrate that here. Okay, so this is the server. When you double click on it, it takes you to this screen. Now, can you see this? We have the clients. This is the client on my production. This is the client on my production server. Okay. So in this client, this is client 300 on my production server. You input the user ID, and then the password. Once you do that, you click on enter. This is the enter. You click on enter. It will take you to the main screen. Okay. SAP window. So let's look at the SAP window. So we get familiar with the window. So when you log on, okay, maybe I should use this. Let me log on. So log on. So when you log on, it takes you to this. Now, the menu here, this is the menu bar, and this is the toolbar. Then we have the status bar. Okay. Now the tools bar here, you have customize local layouts, generate shortcuts, press section, last page, and so on and so forth. You have your find next on the toolbar, log off, cancel, and back on the toolbar. And we also have the command line on the toolbar. Now, this is the command line here. In this command line, this is where you input your transaction code. Transaction code is just a shortcut. It's just a shortcut to the main menu of the to the main menu of the in that of that transaction. Okay. Now we have the menu bar here, and then we have the standards bar here too. Okay, so the menu bar, the standard bar, the standards toolbar, the title bar, application toolbar, and input field. Input field here is actually where you have to input your information. It's always compulsory. Okay, and then the status bar. So the toolbar, I've explained this. I've showed you this on the server. Transaction code. A transaction code is a faster way that can be used to reach a transaction screen without using a menu part. Now, for instance, the transaction code, you key in the transaction code in the command line. This is the command line. When you key in the transaction code in the command line, it takes you to the screen of that very transaction without going in through the menu part. So once you key in the transaction code, you click enter, it takes you to that screen. Let me demonstrate that. So for instance, I want to do FB60. This is a transaction code, FB60. Once I key in the transaction code in the command line, this is the command line, okay? It takes me to the screen directly. Now, this is quite faster. Instead of going through the menu part, okay, going through this menu part, account receivable, okay, see this? Instead of going through to get to FB60. So I just key in, make use of the transaction code. It takes me to this part, to this screen easily and faster. Now, new section. To bring up a new section, you click this, create new section. When you click on create new section, a new section will be open, or /n. /n will open a new section. See, it opens a new section. You can click on this, it opens a new section, okay? Or you click on this to open a new section. So most of the time you might want to open a new section. You are working on a particular transaction and you want to run a report. So in that case, for instance, you are working on a screen like this, FP60, working on a screen like this, and you want to generate a vendor's report. So you need to actually open a new section to do that. So you have to open a new section. So you make use of that. So talking about favorite, favorite is just like a bookmark, okay? It's just like a bookmark, which enable you to reach a transaction without using a menu part or typing in a transaction code. You can add multiple frequently used transactions to your list of favorite so that you can reach your destination quickly without having to remember either the menu part or the transaction code. So this is actually your favorite. You can add as much as transaction to your favorite here. All right. So on my own screen, I have my favorite, the frequently used T code I use. Instead of going through the menu part, I add into my favorite. Let's go to the screen quickly. So this is screen. Okay. So this is my favorite. These are my favorites. These are my favorite. I added all this. You can as well add folders. You can add folders. You can add each of the transaction code. Okay, to add this is very simple. You just have to, you click on favorite, you click on insert transaction. For instance, I want to add FB60. After clicking on insert transaction, I type FB60. Then I click on this arrow, continue. Boom. That is it. So you can see FB60 is here. So instead of me to start cramming the code or going through the menu part, I just come to this, I just add my favorite. It's there in my favorite because it's my frequent use T code. It's the frequent use T code. So it's been added in my favorite. I just come here and I click it. It takes me to that screen. So it's quite faster here. Okay. Okay, so we'll stop here for now. In our next class, we will look into end user training, creation of vendors, and every other business processes as the end user before we move to the consultant level training. So kindly like this post, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it to people that you feel wants to learn SAP, have knowledge in SAP, share it to them, and let's proceed together. Okay, please, this post is not endorsed by SAP and does not represent or replace their documentation. Pictures here are from Open SAP course material. Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Nya Offion. Bye for now.